So you're looking at the Hyundai Creta EV. And there's one number that matters more than anything else. How far will it actually go on a single charge? Well, today we're going to cut through all the noise and give you a straight-up, practical analysis of what you can expect on real Indian roads.
You've probably seen this number everywhere, 473 kilometers. It's the official ARI certified range. It looks fantastic on a brochure, right? But, and this is a big but, it's really not the whole story. Think of it as a starting point.
Exactly. Because the question that every single person thinking about an EV asks is this: what happens when you take it out of that perfect lab and throw it into our bumper-to-bumper traffic with the AC blasting and our, let's say, enthusiastic driving style? That's the real number we're here to figure out. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll tackle the whole EV range question. Then we'll decode what's under the hood of the Creta EV. After that, the main event, the real-world numbers. We'll also look at the hidden range killers. And finally, we'll give you a clear verdict to help you decide. Okay, first things first, it is absolutely essential to get your head around why that official number you see is almost never what you're going to get in your daily drive.
So that RAI number, it comes from a lab. Perfect conditions, a constant, gentle speed, no traffic, no sudden braking, and definitely no air conditioning. The real world? Well, it's just a totally different game, isn't it? It's just like the claimed mileage on a petrol car. You never actually get that number day to day, do you? Same exact idea here.
Right, let's pop the hood, so to speak. The hardware inside this car, we're talking battery and motor, is what sets the stage for its range potential.
So we're focusing on the long-range version here, which packs a 51.4 kilowatt-hour battery. That's the fuel tank, basically. It's an NMC-type battery, which is pretty good for holding a lot of energy. All these specs are what give the Creta EV its punch, but it's the size of that battery and how efficiently the car uses it that really determines how far you'll go.
And just to be super clear, when we say real-world range, we're not talking about some fantasy lab number. We mean a practical, dependable figure you can count on for your daily commute, for those weekend trips, basically for your peace of mind.
And here we go. This is the part you've been waiting for. We've dug through a bunch of real-world tests from some of the best auto journalists in India to piece together a realistic picture of what you should actually expect.
Okay, so a good rule of thumb for most EVs is to take that official number and knock off about 20 to 30%. So you're usually looking at about 70–80% of the claimed range. But here's where it gets really interesting with the Creta EV. Early tests suggest it's actually more efficient than that, sometimes hitting closer to 85% of its claimed range, which honestly is pretty impressive.
Now, this is where it gets really useful. These are the numbers you can actually plan your life around. And you might notice something weird here. The range is highest in the city. How does that work? Well, it's all thanks to something called regenerative braking. Every time you slow down or brake in traffic, the motor puts a little bit of juice back into the battery. It's like free fuel. On the highway, you're just cruising at a high speed, so you get a lot less of that, and that's why the range drops.
And hey, don't just take our word for it. This isn't just theory. The folks over at CarWhale did a proper real-world test and squeezed an amazing 407 kilometers out of a single charge. That was in a mix of city and highway driving, which just goes to show how efficient this car can be in the right conditions.
Looking at it like this really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? That big 473 number is the absolute best case scenario. Think of it as the ceiling. And look at the biggest drop. It's on the highway. This is so important if you're someone who's planning regular trips like Mumbai to Pune or maybe Delhi to Jaipur.
But hang on. Getting those good numbers we just talked about, that's not just up to the car. It's also about how you drive it. So let's talk about the range killers. The little things that can silently drain your battery way faster than you'd expect.
Yeah, every one of these will take a bite out of your range. Putting it in sport mode is fun for sure, but it chugs electricity. And the AC, blasting it on full during a scorching hot May afternoon in Delhi can easily slice 15 to 20% off your range. Then, of course, loading up the car with the whole family and luggage for a trip adds weight, which needs more power. Just knowing about these things can make a huge difference.
So, after all that, the numbers, the good, the bad, we get to the most important question of all. Is this actually the right car for you and your life?
All right, let's bring it all home. Based on these real-world numbers, who is the Creta EV a fantastic choice for, and who maybe should think twice?
It really boils down to how you drive.
If you're mostly in the city, doing the daily commute, school runs, weekend shopping, and you can plug it in at home every night, the Creta EV's range is going to be more than enough. You'll probably barely think about it. But if you're a highway warrior, constantly doing trips over 300, 350 kilometers in one go, that lower highway range could become a real headache.
So here's the bottom line. The Creta EV looks to be an awesome SUV for the city and for shorter trips. It's a fantastic daily driver. But it's not really designed to be a cross-country marathon runner. It's all about matching the car's strengths to your actual needs.
So the big question is for you. Now that you have the real numbers, does the Creta EV's range actually work for your life? We'd love to hear what you think. Drop a comment below and let us know. Thanks for tuning in.